Hello everyone and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. Here we are in front of the 137 display tank. Last time I filmed this video, I had to cut it short. Someone arrived at the door and that was that. But I implied what I was going to get for this tank, as well as shown some of the creatures already in it. And now I'm gonna pick up where I left off because there's some new fish in here, and the ones that I have are just doing super fabulous. First off, from a slight distance, you can see the water has a tint to it. I have put almond leaves in the sump below to soften the water for angelfish and the cardinal tetras and the rams, which are new fish in here, the rams, and I'll get to them in a moment. You can see even from here, the two electric blue German rams cavorting, following that school of cardinal tetras. So even from here, you're getting the effect that I want. And then there's about 15 angelfish. I got all the, not all, I got 12 from Artistic Angels, a super fabulous online vendor. You find her on Facebook, Carolyn at Artistic Angels. She has high quality strain angelfish, and now we're going to move in and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So these are all Pinoy strain. I've got stripes or zebra and clowns, and then Pariba. I think that's a Pariba, and that's obviously a zebra. And let's see if I can drum up a clown. That's a clown there, right here, I think. And I have the other 6 angelfish that are also veal tails or super veals that are to be determined. But everything shares the characteristic of being dark, smoky, black, blue, and Pinoy was kind of the yardstick I was measuring for that for the effect that I want in this tank. I wanted those to offset the green plants and brown driftwood, as well as that school of about 65 cardinal tetras. Isn't that incredible? So beautiful. I was somewhat tempted to just get a shit ton of those, excuse my French, but no, my main vision was always angelfish. I haven't had them since I was a very young man, and now I've got them again, and I've got the kind that I've I'm looking forward to seeing these guys grow up, because you can tell they're going to be beautiful. I mean, look at that one. Look at those two. Absolutely stunning. There's a few oddball angelfish that I did not get from Artistic Angel. This looks like a seal point, but it's a veal tail. And I gotta tell you, I got that at Petco. I was just in there getting food or something, and they got a small group of veal angels, and I saw that one in there, and I mean, for like $4.99, are you kidding me? So I bought them and added them to the school. It could be a Bulgarian seal point. If not, it certainly has some of that in its DNA. But to my knowledge, all the fish in here are veals or super veals. So when they get older, if they're not already outstanding, which they are, they're gonna be incredible when they're the size of my hand. And then that plus those cardinals will be, I mean, I'm not gonna add a different schooling fish at this point, or any fish beyond cleanup crew denizens. And then the 2 electric blue rams, which I got today. Supposedly a pair. It's a little tough with the electric blue strain. I just put them in today. I was at the Greenwater Aquarium swap in Tinley Park, Illinois. So I went out to a suburb, and this ram breeder had all the different strains. And I know rams enjoy hot water and soft water like their distant cousin, the angelfish. I doubt I mean, I don't know if they have any deal, but they're cichlids. So I got them, and this supposedly is a male and a female, but you never know. It's especially tricky with the electric blue strain. The normal German blue ram is a little bit easier because there's color differences, but color differences are really not how you sex these. But the breeder sold them to me as a pair. Look at that great color, huh? And these are just juveniles, so they're gonna get bigger, and they seem to be happy with one another. So, and the size difference would imply that if they are different sexes, but that's a loose implication. I've got all kinds of fun plecostomus in here. There's a couple super reds, boom boom. There's a lemon blue-eyed pleco. There's a neat farawalla catfish. Look at that, isn't that cool? Let me just spin that around. I mean, God really broke the mold when he made that one. It's like science fiction. All those fish in front, obviously Autocinclus, some more mystery snails. Actually, this is the tank where I found the first cluster of mystery snail eggs. Was up inside on the canopy, and I have that. I went online and figured out different ways you could raise the egg cluster, and I'll talk about that in another video, but I'm giving it a try. It's not hard, but then again, if I fail, then maybe it is hard, but I doubt it. So I'm looking forward to that. I have a number of mystery snails in here, and I always see them doing the deed with one another. They love to fool around. I've got a couple more exotic plecostomus in here. I'm not finding them. I've got a tiger pleco. I've got a clown pleco, and I don't have a zebra. So, with this tinted water and the beautiful driftwood, which by the way, all the algae that was on that outcropping by the light, completely gone. Thank you to the 3 Siamese algae eaters that I put in here. So there's 3 of those in here as well. Like the old commercial, it really, really works. Boom, that thing was hairy, and now it's completely like it was shaved in a beauty salon. And I'm positive it was the Siamese algae eaters, because I had these ottos since day one, and so it wasn't them. It wasn't blackbeard algae though, so I mean it was more of a hairy kind of algae. So the Amano shrimp in here and the ottos would have eaten that, and I'm sure they maybe had played some role in its removal, but it was a week after I put the 3 reticulated Siamese algae eaters in here, young ones, and if I come across one, I'll point it out. And they're not, you know, like a lot of cleanup crew fish like ottos, they're not beautiful, so they don't really stand out or pop, but they work and they work and they work, and they're charming in their own right, and everybody and their brother who has planted tanks is a fan of the Autocinclus. When I set up this tank and all my tanks, I always, after cycling, start with some snails and invertebrates and Autocinclus in that order, and it's always worked for me. The plants are starting to do what I want them to do. Obviously, the floating plants are killing it, and those wonderful long tendrils, roots will pull out nitrates from the water, which is always a good thing, and it looks super cool, and it makes things like angelfish and cardinals feel comfortable, just like having a heavily planted undergrowth as well. The veils took their sweet time, but it looks like they're starting to do what they do, which is grow. It takes a while for them, but once they get going, it's hard to stop. But I'm still not at that point. These are corkscrew veils, and you can see that kind of iconic corkscrew shape. Then I've got all different kinds of hygrophila, including that one that I can never say right, especially when I'm filming because I get nervous. There's the stem type version of it. And in this big giant tank, I can handle the stem. I don't have to create a bush effect. It won't chew up any real estate that's problematic. And then there's a what is that one called? The octopus, pogostem and octopus, the one that's kind of ungainly sticking out there. Like I said, some Hygrophila semencius, Aquarium bosa. Somewhere in the back there's two Echinodorus sword plants, two different kinds. They haven't dominated yet. There's a dying leaf from one, which could be the original emerged growth, which always dies back before the aquatic growth comes back and takes its place. So that could be what's happening there. These long stems are from my other aquarium. I just put the cuttings in. They grow fast and quick to the top, that Rotala. And then I've got, oh gosh, some more vales. There's a little dwarf sage, not really, just sort of dangling upwards. Sometimes with sand, it's hard for them to establish footing, so they'll do what they do. The crypts, all different kinds, that's what this is. Doing very well for sand. I'm very pleased. I was worried, to say the least, because I haven't worked with sand before. Now there's some root tabs down there, but still I was worried it wasn't anything like aqua soil and I would have a problem, but these crypts look terrific. And the cool thing about all these Coreodora, how could I forget the Adolphi Coreodora? I've got 24 of them. I got them from Nationwide Aquatics at the swap last month. The one I went to today, I went to last month, and I had pre-ordered 24 of these lovely, with the orange saddle, the Adolphi or Adolph's Coreodora. Those are all juveniles. And like I was saying before, there was, by swimming around and rooting through the sand bed, they literally shoot all the detritus, dead plant matter, things that aren't really food related, they pick it up. Now when you have 24 of them, every day and night, they do their thing, and it pushes all that crap up into the water column, which then is drawn into the sump. Before, early on, especially as all the plants were, melting and dying before they come back, there was all kinds of plant matter. And then when I added these busybody fish, the plecos and the cories, I don't have any of that detritus in there. And now, like you see the sage here, it's so clean. I mean, even if it's not doing as well as it would in aqua soil, it doesn't look grody, to use a weird sort of childish word. It's clean looking, is what I'm trying to say. And for a tank this special, kind of my bucket list fantasy tank, I didn't want to have like compromised anything, to be honest with you. So I've been obsessing and compulsing. It's like the first thing I think of in the morning, and the last thing as I drift off to sleep is like, what do I need to do with this tank? What's working? What isn't? What can I get? What should I avoid getting? What do I change? And on and on. That's the hobby. I hope you enjoy this video. I'm at the 14-minute mark, so we're gonna call it. Questions, comments, concerns, observations, I'd love to hear from you. Until then, always keep your hands in the tank. Ciao for now.